Here's Selena Gomez, and we're on time at 8:35 with Mike Barrett to join us with our weekly edition of Good Policies. Hi, Mike.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Fun morning for you, I hear.
It's been a bang-up.
The amount of duct tape that's been used in the studio this morning is remarkable.
He is painting a horrible picture, but no, we don't have duct tape. I think that little old me got us all fixed up and running. We should be doing okay here. We've had a couple of bad days here in the studio, so
technology is great when it works, and well, you know what it is when it doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
This morning.
Yeah.
All right. So, every day I travel up and down 114. Very seldom do I head south, but where I'm going with headed north here, there's a lot of wonderful, open, beautiful country, some rolling green hills. Well, they're brown and white right now.
Yeah. Wish they were white.
We live in the most beautiful spot in the world. I can attest to that here in the United States because I've been to every one of the contiguous United States except for Florida. We love this place.
Yeah.
And every weekend in the winter, we're seeing more and more out-of-state plates towing trailers.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah. You're talking snowmobile.
That's right. We get the vast trails crisscrossing across 114 up and down through here, all the way up through to Island Pond. There are so many folks that head up there, and they park their snowmobiles, and they go out for rides. And then, sadly, we also get the news stories where somebody wrecked their sled or got hurt.
Recklessness on the trails can occur, or just losing control in general. So many things can happen. And what's worthy of discussion this morning is snowmobiles, how to not cover them. Because it does sound like Mother Nature will play fair again and give us some more snow as the week goes on, and maybe more of a winter trajectory will continue for a while that will hopefully keep the snowmobilers and the skiers and snowboarders happy. So for snowmobiles, a really guilty habit for a lot of people is to not carry coverage all the time. And the reason being is they want to save money, okay? So they're thinking, well, I only ride, and it makes sense, right? I only ride my snowmobile from when it snows to when it melts, which can range in time. It can be a couple of months at the most, right? So the first thing to always go is your snowmobile policy. People don't think about the fact they went out and bought a $10,000 sled and they're paying for that year round, but for the insurance part of it, they may think that they can take it off. What I'm coming to is a couple of sides of things, and we'll start with the easy one, physical damage. Snowmobile physical damage coverage, snowmobiles can be damaged at any time, at any place. They can be stolen or vandalized at any time, at any place. So if you have a snowmobile of value, that thing really should have coverage on it year-round.
I'm going to just interject here just for a little bit. I want you to keep going. I have a couple of friends that would differ with that theory, okay, of I only ride my snowmobile from January to March or whatever, right?
Sure.
My friend Paul Belfay over here, all year long.
Oh, does he travel for it?
Well, yeah, he does. He's got collectible sleds.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you talk about a valuable sled. I don't care who you are. A $5,000 sled, a used sled, is a big investment.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So if you've got a $10,000, $15,000, $12,000 sled, you got it set beside the shed.
Right.
Outside the garage. These are where things can happen.
It can burn in a garage fire. It can get struck by another vehicle. It can be stolen. It can be vandalized. It can have a tree fall on it. There's a million things that can happen to it. So that's the easy side, right? That's the part saying, for $300-400 a year, it's worth protecting that investment. I'd rather spend $300 or $400 a year than be out $2,000 or $3,000 or $10,000. The liability portion is another part of it, though. I get a lot of people who go, well, yeah, I've got snowmobiles, but I never ride them off my property. Never. So I don't need insurance on them at all. Okay, I get your thought because you're riding your snowmobile on your property, but friends come over. Now you've got friends out in the yard and you're all riding snowmobiles and boom, a little accident happens where you take one of them out. Horribly injure this person. You have no insurance on that snowmobile. Well, I was only riding on my property, so I didn't need it. Sure, you didn't because the state wasn't going to require it. But now you are legally liable for injury to another individual and you have no coverage for it because your homeowner policy is not going to pay for it. Your homeowner policy liability exclusions pertain to, it doesn't cover for automobile or registered vehicles bodily injury that's caused by them.
Well, and snowmobiles have to be registered to be on the trails.
Exactly. So that is why you would not have coverage. So you could really be opening yourself up to some exposure for injuring others or causing property damage. I mean, how close are neighbors? Could you run into one of their properties? Could a sled malfunction and take off and maybe you dump off of it, but it runs into your neighbor's house? I mean, so many, it's a what if thing. And I know I'm really splitting hairs here, but I think we can make a pretty justifiable case as to why it would be beneficial to maintain insurance on it all year. So that's you have something. So
Yeah, I'm going to relate this to something completely disconnected from a snowmobile, okay? But you talked about a malfunction, right? That happens, okay? We've seen hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos of people out bopping around in their field, and they have a wreck, right?
Yeah.
Was it last week, a week or so ago, we saw in the news a boat, okay? A boat with a couple of fellows on it, and they were horsing around, and they were ejected from the boat.
Yeah.
The boat didn't have a kill switch working on it.
Right.
So that boat sat there for over a half hour doing donuts in the water. The police boats couldn't get over to stop it. Now the owners of the boats are facing legal action because they had defective equipment.
Yeah.
So it can happen to anything.
It can happen. You're absolutely right. It can. So, remember, insurance is not the when, it's the if. Okay, it's the if this is going to occur. So you want to just make sure that you're balancing your protection. So snowmobiles should absolutely unequivocally have insurance. And yes, when you see a premium of $300, $400, $500, $600 a year for a snowmobile that you're only riding a couple of months a year, I can understand how. And even myself, I've been a snowmobile owner many times in my life. I felt the same way. But seeing how it can be of true benefit to maintain it, it's not a bad idea. You can make other changes, but as you go further, remember, I always say, better to put a snowmobile policy on its very own policy than it is to put it on your homeowner policy, because that is available with a couple companies where you can specifically add liability coverage and physical damage coverage to it. But the thing of it is that that's not giving you the same level of coverage that a specific snowmobile policy would have. So you would be missing uninsured motorist protection. You'd be missing medical payments protection, some awesome components protection for the sled. Really should do your homework and find a snowmobile policy that you're comfortable with the coverage and the price, and keep it.
Well, and some folks, a small business owner, somebody may use their snowmobile to go out and check their taps, or something like, or they're trapping, or what have you. Yeah. A homeowner's policy or business policy could cover that, but like I always say, if you're going to err on the side of caution.
Well, let's throw one last thing out at you, okay?
Yep.
So if you get a specific snowmobile policy, you've got $5,000 in medical payments on the policy as an option that you've chosen, right?
Right.
Which would not be available on a homeowner or a business owner's policy or farm policy. And maybe you are the person out checking taps, and something happens where you run into a tree and you hurt yourself. Maybe you have a high deductible health insurance policy with a $5,000 deductible. Well, now you're out $5,000. But if you have the medical payments coverage on a specific snowmobile policy, you've got medical payments coverage to help you out. So there's always a reason to justify these things.
And always a reason to have the conversation.
Absolutely.
Tell them how to do that.
Give us a call, 748-5224. Visit our website. Our website's on Portland Street, apparently. Visit our website, thebarrettagency.com. We're physically located at Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Plus, you can find us on Google, YouTube, and Facebook, all Barrett Insurance.
And here on Tuesday mornings.
Absolutely. I need more real coffee.
Yes, you do. Yeah. All right. Good policy's over. We're going to head back to the music with some Niall Horan, and we'll squeeze in some Ricky Martin and Christina Aguilera.